that time, I was having severe symptoms, HIV/AIDS symptoms. My symptoms, which at the time I had boils on the sides of my body by the size of a quarter, and I also had night sweats, which mean I don't know if anybody knows about what night sweats, but you're asleep in the middle of the night and you wake up in a cold, wrenching, wet body, and you can't get warm. You're freezing. You consistently try to get dry, and by the time you fall back asleep, you're having another night sweat. And I actually got worsened when I took these so-called AIDS medications. And so I knew there had to be other things that I could do to help treat myself in order to survive, basically. And I knew I had to do something because I worked for a law enforcement division, which looked at me as a public eye, and I obviously didn't look like the kind of person who should be walking in a uniform at 127 pounds. So I finally said to myself, I've got to do something. I started it. I went off all medications. I went cold turkey. It was a very tough decision, but it was either that or nothing at all because I obviously wasn't progressing and getting healthier. As soon as I went off all medications, starting the herbal nutrition program, those symptoms resided, and I was grateful, and I thank God every day for it. I looked at every corner that I could possibly look at. I could never find anything that I could say that could pretty much work effectively if you gave it 100%. And when I found the Silver Pulsar, which was recommended to me by a Chinese acupuncturist, and out of Indianapolis, I realized right then, I said, she's an AIDS specialist. She specialized in HIV/AIDS for over 10 years, and she dedicates her life to it. And she told me, Dan, you really should try this. And I said, well, what have I got to lose? And so I took the jump and the leap, and leap of faith is what it was, and I did it. And at the time, I don't know if I failed to mention this earlier, but I also was diagnosed with hepatitis B. And at that time, I had gone for 6, 7, 8 years with this disease of hepatitis. No treatment. And if there was, I wasn't going to take it because my immune system was now strengthening. I started the Silver Pulsar in November, and I went on a 3-week protocol where I was using colloidal silver and doing the blood electroporation. And at the time, I had not done ozone water, but I was doing the blood electroporation in the colloidal silver. And I noticed that upon contact within the first few days, I had flu-like symptoms. And I knew that those were probably signs of detoxification. So it didn't scare me or did not put any red flags up that, hey, this is making me sick. And after the second to the third day, the flu symptoms were residing. I started feeling better with the magnetic pulsar. And obviously, that does need to be utilized as well. And I attribute the magnetic pulsar probably mostly to my hepatitis, inactive hepatitis, because in other words, I had to get down to the organs, and the magnetic pulsar is what does that. My doctor looked at me and he said, Dan, he says, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. He says, I can't show any signs of hepatitis antigen, the viral hepatitis in the body. Your CD4 count has obviously gone up some, which is a sign of immunity being stimulated. And I'm healthy, and I feel good, and I do a lot of hiking outdoors. I'll tell you what, I can pass a lot of my buddies up and down these hills like they have never known. I can be at the top of a mountain, and this is the hunting season right now, and I like to hunt. And so I can walk up to the top of a mountain, I can look down, and they're still breathing hard, and I'm not even panting a breath. That shows immune system strength. That shows durability and endurance. I was totally uneducated with the whole thing. I learned it all on my own, over 10 years' worth of self-education. And I would say the first thing I would say to you or anybody else watching this video is to say to themselves, I can do it. There are other ways to treat my illness. I can combat this illness. And if it's to be, it is up to me. And have a lot of strength. Put a little prayer and effort into it because you're going to need guidance along your way. But I can tell you if it were me, and I had it to do over again, it's darn well bet the first thing that I would be doing, I'd get on the Silver Pulsar, build your immune system, make it healthy, make it strong, to the point where you can pass up a cold without getting a vaccine. Drink plenty of water to detoxify yourself with, and that's preferably distilled water. And I'll tell you, you're going to find some significant changes in the way you feel, in the way you think, the way you act, the way you respond to people. Just it enlightens your entire life. And I'll be drinking colloidal silver till I'm 80, I hope. And I'll also be doing the pulsar for maintenance the rest of my life. I can guarantee it.